It doesn't mean that just because you're walking around here with a parking spot with your name on it, it doesn't mean you don't need to trust God. What he is saying is that you who are my leader, who's closest to me in my inner circle, even to the one who sits far away, you still have to trust God. Doesn't mean that you have your faith all the way together. And see, that's the problem that I have with some folk in church. They want to sit in here and listen to a message and then go outside and give you a different word in the parking lot. I'm good. I got a word in there. You ain't got it all together where you got to come preaching behind the preacher. Hold that for yourself. I'm straight. I'm good. And I ain't trying to be rude or mean. I'm just saying it conflicts with where God has me. And I'm not going to allow people and their desire to make themselves feel elevated or feel powerful to mess up me and God. Not going to happen. And what it also says is you still got work to do. You still got work to do. You still need to pray. You still need to study. You still need to pray. You still need to study. You still need to pray. You still need to study. He says our faith in Jesus has got to be tested. It's got to be stretched. So you know what happens what happens to a rubber band when you stretch it? It stretches and then it returns to its normal position. And if you stretch too far, it'll break. Now, some people automatically would say, well, that's a bad thing. No. The rubber band actually covers more ground now that it's broken. And some of us haven't gotten to a place of being broken yet. Some of us aren't broken, have not been broken before God. He says your faith has got to be stretched. And then he concludes the conversation by letting them know that they have to allow their faith to be stretched. Well, how does he do that? He says in the last statement in verse 21, he says, however, this kind does not go out except by prayer and fasting. So he's elevated their faith walk from just prayer and studying the word or hearing the word, but to prayer and fasting. I know fasting for some of us is an ugly word. It's a dirty word. You mean I got to turn my plate now? I can't eat? No, you cannot. Sometimes we need to fast from food. Sometimes we need to fast from social media. Sometimes we need to fast from the TV. Sometimes we need to fast from people. There's some people you need to take a break from. Sometimes we need to fast from just technology. I know these phones have become, we've become so dependent. Bobby and I were talking before service about how these companies have gotten us where we're hooked on these. We're hooked on these tablets. They've become such and look at me. I got a tablet, a laptop, and a phone. We've gotten to where we're so hooked on these, where our day-to-day is intertwined in our ability to be able to access or use these. The other day, last week, the power at work went out. And because, and like most companies, most of the stuff that we use on a day-to-day, it's all web-based. So there's no coming in to install software like it used to be. You access your applications through the web. Well, when the power goes out or if the internet goes out, we're crippled. We can't do business. We can't move forward. But I still got people in the showroom that want to buy cars. Now, fortunately, I came into the business, and many of you who either are my age or maybe a little older, you remember when you bought cars and they used to bring out a piece of paper. There's a little technique called a foursquare. And I literally pulled a notebook out and I went to the foursquare. This is the car you're buying. This is the car you're trading. This is the money you're putting down. Here's your payment. And that's the deal. But we've gotten so accustomed to these that we have to print out a nice, wonderful worksheet that's got their name and everything written on it. I don't care about all that. I just care about getting it done. At the end of the day, I just want to ring up the register and cash them out. That's it. Just want to ring up the register and cash them out. But we get so dependent on these. And there's a time when we have to let some stuff go or put it on the side so that we allow our faith to stretch and to stretch us. So when he says this, or he says this kind does not go out except by prayer and fasting. as I was sitting there studying this, what God showed me, what Jesus was saying, was that there are times when some of your problems, they're not play problems. That some of your issues is not a play demon. He says that this ain't no